These gym lead sources can get you a steady flow of leads without paid Facebook ads, but only if you do them right. So today, we're gonna cover exactly what they are and how to do them most effectively. My name is Mark Fisher from Business for Unicorns, and if you're like a lot of gym owners I know, you might be finding yourself getting pretty frustrated with Facebook ads lately. And I should know, when I say Facebook ads, I really mean meta ads. So I'm talking about Facebook and Instagram. And listen, this is still an important platform. So understand, I'm not saying that you shouldn't be running ads. In fact, I don't know any very high performing gyms that don't run some ads some of the time. But it is true that paid ads are more expensive than they've ever been. The leads are less qualified and they're much harder to reach. You're gonna have to do a lot more follow-up to finally contact these leads. I think there's a lot of reasons for that. I think certainly in most markets, people are now used to getting a lot of these ads. Every business in the world is now in on the game, it seems. And of course, I think a lot of the changes that iOS made for privacy have really meaningfully made it a lot harder in ways that honestly, I don't think agencies are always as upfront about as maybe they could be. But unfortunately, when you tried non-paid digital things, the results were mixed at best. And a lot of times you felt like you were doing a lot of effort and spinning your wheels, but you weren't even getting any leads. And honestly, if you keep going like this, you're kind of afraid you're never gonna see the growth you wanna see in clients or make the kind of take-home income that you deserve as somebody that's really positively impacting your community. So we wanna find some way to not rely only on paid Facebook and Instagram ads. We want to be thoughtful and learn how to actually make those strategies bear fruit. And we wanna do this because if we do, your job gets a lot easier and a lot cooler, and you'll both be helping a lot more people and your life will be a lot better off financially. But we do have to get over this hump of thinking that paid Facebook and Instagram ads are the only way to grow your gym. It's just not. And just as I'll tell you that you're not gonna find a very successful gym that is not running paid ads, you also won't find a very successful gym that only relies on paid ads. If you do, it's kind of like fishing in a pond with just one pole. Even if that pole is super awesome, and we've just established, by the way, that paid Facebook ads are not like the most awesome. They're good, we wanna be using them. But if you're only relying on a single pole in the water, well, obviously you're not gonna get as many fish, number one, and number two, God forbid something happens to that pole, now we're really in trouble. And listen, the algorithms, the platforms, they're always changing. So we do not want to be reliant on a single point of failure and a single lead source. So today we're going to talk about how to effectively run business partnerships or joint ventures. We'll talk about how to leverage organic Instagram to actually see results and actually get leads out of it instead of just posting a lot. We'll talk about the benefits of direct mail when it is done well. And then we'll talk about referral campaigns and how to actually incentivize, inspire, and motivate your members to take some action to help drag their friends on in here and have the same great experience with your gym that they're having with you. So first, let's talk about business partnerships. Now, the first I want to say is all of these models, we could go into a lot greater detail than I have in the time allotted to me in the YouTube video. So although I won't be able to go into all the same detail I can for members of the Unicorn side that access our playbooks, I think I can give you a few high-level thoughts that will at least point you in the right direction. So when we're talking about business partnerships, at a very high level, here's what you need to do. First, you need to make a list of all potential business partners. And I like to think of these in two buckets. You have geographic partners. These are people that are in close physical proximity to your gym that aren't necessarily the type of gym that's working with a health conscious consumer. You know, maybe this is a coffee shop or some other local business. Maybe it's another business in the same strip mall as your gym if you happen to be located in a strip mall. But in addition to your geographic partners, which are the people that are very physically close to your gym to help get the word out about you, we also want to consider demographic partners. So these are complementary services that have a similar demographic as your client, which is to say they also serve people that are health conscious and health focused. These could be anything from a health food store to a chiropractor, physical therapist, a recovery facility, a cold plunge, a sauna. And obviously your perfect world is when someone is both, right? If they're physically close to the facility and they serve a health conscious consumer, that's super amazing. But the very first step here is we just need a list of these businesses. Now, time is a constraint. You're not gonna be able to reach out to all of these people because there's only so many hours in the day, and there's a lot of stuff you've gotta do. So my suggestion is identify the top, let's say 10 to 20 businesses that you're really interested in developing relationships, and then figure out based on how much bandwidth you have, how often you're gonna be reaching out to a new potential business partnership. And maybe that's once every 2 weeks, maybe that's once a month. But whatever you do, you gotta be consistent, because here's your other pro tip. Here's the other place everybody goes wrong. It's not that you're gonna email them once and then get a meeting and they're gonna start driving you leads. That's not the way this works. This is all long tail. So I would encourage you to actually make a calendar for literally a year about who you're gonna reach out to and when. And whatever you decide, whether it's every 2 weeks, every month, every week, if you're really ambitious, you start the relationship. And then at least on a monthly basis, you then have to keep up with that relationship and find some way to stay in contact, which, by the way, I don't think is manipulative or insincere. I think it's just intentional friendshipping. So now you've got your list of possible partners, you've got a schedule for how you reach out to them. And this is where we get to the hard part, which is, okay, but what do I do? What do I say, right? So here's the thing. You got to be a friend. You got to be a human, right? And I understand sometimes we want to know what the words are, but it's really not any more complicated than going with a giving hand. You just want to introduce yourself, try to find the manager or the owner, someone who's in charge. And here's the important thing. You're leading with, I have a gym nearby. We have maybe X many clients, maybe X many people on our email list, or X many followers on social media, whatever makes you look appropriately cool. And then let them know you're looking to support other small businesses in the area and you'd love to have a quick conversation, understand more about their business, what their goals are, and how you might be able to help. So that's the way we're starting. We're starting with a giving hand. This could be a call, an email, a physical drop by. In a perfect world, you'll do all of them, because understand this is just like any other follow-up sequence. You're gonna have to be persistent because these business owners are busy. So a lot of them are not necessarily gonna give you time of day. So it's important to be persistent. It's important not to take it personally if they're not getting back to you. And another pro tip, you want to in advance think through what are the ways that you could possibly help their business. Because again, you wanna make this easy for them. And in practice, it's not an unlimited number of things. It's mostly like, what are things that you could give them or their team? What are things you could offer to their clients that are valuable? Or importantly, and what honestly a lot of them are most interested in, is what are things that they can offer or you can use to expose their business to your clientele base? And that's the one that for Llama is gonna be most valuable. Certainly you could offer to maybe train the owner for free, maybe give the staff a discount, maybe if there's something that does feel valuable to their clientele base. But understand at that point, that kind of stuff is things that you are gonna be getting from it. And I would note in closing here, when you're thinking about business partnerships, you should also consider, okay, what are a list of, maybe 5 or 10 things that you might consider valuable, right? Can they send out an email for you? Will they do an Instagram post? Will they let you put a flyer in their facility? Can they do a giveaway of something free to their members? But remember, we want to prioritize, go with a giving hand first. Think about where you're going to help them. And I want to reiterate one more time, long tail, baby. This is gonna take time. So don't think this is a one and done, like, oh, I had a meeting and now we're good. Now I have tons of leads. It doesn't work like that. You wanna make part of your monthly marketing activities keeping up with those relationships, staying in touch with them so you develop the relationship over time. Next, let's talk about organic Instagram, which can be super amazing or a complete waste of time. And for most gyms, when I look at what you're doing, I love you. I think you're wasting your time. You're not doing a good job, but I'm gonna help you. So again, I'm gonna give you just a couple really big high level things that are important here. The first is you have to understand your profile essentially is like a version of the website. And just as your website wants to make it immediately clear who you help, how you help them, and exactly what to do next, your profile should do the same thing. And that should be very obvious when they look at the profile, who you help, how you help them, and exactly what to do next. The clear call to action that goes into the link. You can use a link tree if you want, but please don't have 5,000 things, because if you make them choose, you will lose. The confused mind doesn't buy, and various other sayings that kind of imply the same thing. If you make them choose between 10 jams, they blah, 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 blah. But if you choose between 3 jams, jams. You know that story, right? The jam thing. It's a famous psychology study. Never mind. So knowing this, that like people at a glance and be able to look at your profile and be like, oh, okay, did I see myself here or not? Now let's talk a little bit about what you're posting, your posting schedule. So we want to be consistent. I think as a rule, knowing most of you don't have unlimited capacity and you're not full-time Instagrammers, I like 3 to 5 times per week on the feed, 1 to 3 times per day on the stories to keep your circle going. Now, briefly, can you post on other sites? Yeah, you totally can. Facebook will tend to be pay to play, though it can't hurt to transfer Instagram over to there. I don't know any gym at the time of this recording that's really nailing it on TikTok, but we'll want to keep our eyes peeled. So for most gym owners, most of the time, I think organic Instagram is going to be a way to get some play. And I would note organic Instagram is a little bit unique in that people can sometimes find you that way. They come to know you exist, and also they come to like and trust you on Instagram because you're providing ideally value building content. So let's talk a little bit about, okay, well, what content are you posting? Similar to email marketing, anytime you're looking to build a relationship, you want to provide value. And this is either by entertaining them, which can be through telling jokes, through telling stories, which also are important because people like stories, maybe even sharing some personal branding stuff about you if you're the face of the business, because people want to work with a human, not with a business. So they want to feel that you're relatable, and the more they get to know you, the more they're going to like you. We can, of course, also provide education, right? Think through the pain points that your clients are facing, and then create content that solves those things. And that's your takeaway there, right? Start with like what's not working and then move over to what the solutions are. Alternatively, you can also make a list of commonly asked questions and create content around that. Now, as far as what type of content you're doing, whether it's video, long caption, infographics, I think in a perfect world, you'll do some variants. You'll spice up your life. Ideally, you'll get in a system where you don't have to think about it, where it's the same schedule week in and week out, so you can plan out in advance and be consistent. And finally, I think you should leverage whatever it is that you are good at. Some people are more naturally adapted to some types of content than others, so get down with your bad self. Finally, your Instagram post, again, we want to drive leads with this. So we're trying to get people in most situations into a DM so we can get their email and have some kind of conversation. Now, this can be a little bit obnoxious if every single post is, comment below for X free resource or comment below for free class. But ultimately, we do want to be getting emails and leads out of this. Otherwise, we're actually kind of wasting our time. You're not there just to be there. That's confusing activity with achievement, as John Wooden would say. We need to actually be getting some results of some kind. Now, a final pro tip here for organic Instagram is if you want to get more traction in the algorithm, make it an expectation for your team to also engage with the posts, like, comment, etc., because then it will show up in more of your followers' feeds. And I can't resist one more. If you have a team that you're working with, particularly other trainers, it's important to ask them to collaborate with you or for you to collaborate them when you post, because then you'll show up for their followers. And in practice, it's likely that your team knows other people in your geographic area that might be a candidate for what you do, so that will help more people know that you exist. The third best gym lead source that is not paid digital ads is a paid physical ad, and that is direct mail. Now, admittedly, this is a little bit market dependent, but overall, understand a lot of what we're doing is we're looking to obliterate obscurity. We want everyone to know you exist. So direct mail can be very, very valuable, but I concede for some of you, it's not gonna be the first arrow I'm gonna pull from the quiver because it can be expensive. We're looking in a lot of markets anywhere from as much as 10 to 15 grand for 3 mailings over 3 months. I wouldn't expect a single mailing would move the ball forward. I would expect over 3 mailings, we're gonna start to see some people raising their hands. Remember, all of these things are working together. In a perfect world, we're doing organic Insta, and they're gonna see you at the local businesses, and they're gonna get direct mailings. So the key thing with direct mail is you can actually sort the audiences really well. In fact, you can do it with more granularity than you can often on paid digital to make sure that they, it's going to physical houses that are physically close enough to the gym and they could be a fit. And you can also screen out for things like income if you want to do some more sorting by demographics. Most people that create direct mail pieces can advise to some extent on what design will work best, but you will have to still take ownership here. You can't really outsource that totally, just like you can't really outsource marketing and paid digital ads. It's usually just not gonna work. You still have to take some ownership on how to make it clear, what is the call out, who it is you serve. Are these pictures of real people that look like your avatar having fun and not dying? Is the design nice? Is there a very clear benefit-rich headline with very clear next step call to action? And if you get all of these things right, remember, direct mail, I don't think in of itself is gonna change the game. It's really this cohesive strategy of all of these things happening together. Because I'll say this, while you have to pay for direct mail with money, similar to digital ad, it means you don't have to pay quite as much in time. And it's very true that posting organic social media and developing business partnerships, although free, quote unquote, is gonna be a little bit more time intensive. So optimally, we're doing a combination of all of these strategies, but you have my permission. If cash is light, we maybe don't start with direct mail first, but it's good to have it on its radar because as your gym matures, I think in almost all markets, this is absolutely something worth considering because you will be amazed how many people live a mile from your gym, even in a not particularly dense market, they just somehow haven't heard of you. Finally, and this one I'll keep brief because I've done a lot of content on this throughout our emails, is referrals. So obviously one great way to get more leads without paying for them through paid digital is have your members tell their friends. Now, there are all sorts of plays you can run here. You know, in a vacuum, the play that I think for a lot of people is worth considering if you just want me to give you one and do this is if you haven't done this in the past 6 to 12 months, get a physical gift card for a free month or the trial, depends on if it paid or not, whatever feels most valuable. Give to your members and tell them they can give one of them to a friend, but they have to claim it by X date. And I think the physical gift card can be a very important piece of this because it's less about, I've been told I can give something away for free. It's more about, hey, this is this value and it's gonna go to waste if you don't use it. Do you want it? I think if I were to offer you one other play that I like for just getting butts in the door, I do like a bring a buddy week or bring a buddy class. Again, you don't wanna do this every single week. It's not gonna work, but I would say once every, call it 3 to 4 to maybe 6 months, you have some opportunity for members to bring in their friends in a very low commitment way. I think that'll be a great way to drive leads. And then you can get more robust beyond this and do like full sexy, like give to get campaigns where you run contests and you can give away points for all sorts of things like bringing in leads, having trials sold, actual members that are referred by your clients, posts on social media, anything that can help get the word out about your business, you can incentivize. Now, that type of give to get approach, I think can be super successful, but it's not a small amount of capacity ask for you and your team. So definitely worth considering, but part of the game here is you'll have to decide for you and your business what's the thing that makes most sense for where you're at now and how much capacity you have. And if you want a list of various referral offers to run and make it easy to just look through things, go ahead, click the link in the description box below and you can download my list of favorite promotional offers. So this will include both offers you can make to people that have never been members, offers you can make to former clients to come back, but it also has a list of very specific referral plays that you can think through and decide which one is gonna be most impactful to move the ball forward for you. So in closing, remember, digital ads are super awesome, but you just can't rely on them alone, right? We need more than one pole in the water because in business, one is the most dangerous number. Now, I know this was a lot of stuff today. I hope you found it valuable, but I also know always that can feel a little confusing and you might be a little like, what do I do? If you just wanna start with one thing, start with the referral play. Click the link in the description box below, download the list of referral play and do that first. For most of you, that's gonna be the lowest hanging fruit. Listen, organic Instagram, direct mail, business partnerships, those all matter too, but I'll concede they're a little bit more long tail. If you wanna see movement fast and you want more leads, check out the list of referral offers and then take action in the next month. Now, if you're interested in finding out more how Business for Unicorns helps gym owners just like you achieve more income, more impact, and more freedom, you wanna go in the description box below and click on the link to find out more about the Unicorn Society, our coaching group exclusively for brick and mortar gym owners. And if now is not the right time, that's no problem at all. You'll see a number of other awesome resources down there, including but not limited to our podcast, our Instagram, and well, frankly, you might as well hit subscribe to this here YouTube channel while you're down there. Thank you so much, as always, for watching and checking out these videos. I look forward to catching you next time, where I will be back to share more actionable tips, psychological frameworks, and philosophy.